Hey everybody, welcome back to Scotty's Moto Garage. So tonight we're going to keep working on the MT-09. We got the RaceFit exhaust put on last night, and so tonight we're going to continue by doing the Stage 2 air cleaner kit by DNA. We're going to finish, we're going to completely install that. I haven't even started it yet. And once that's done, then we're going to work through doing the ECU Reflash by BT-Moto. So just a quick review. So just put the exhaust on last night, and now we're going to be taking the tank apart, and we're going to take these bolts off here, and then I believe we have to take these cowls off to get to the rest of it. But I'll let you know as we go along on what we had to do to get those out, and we'll go from there. All right, stand by. Just wanted to show you something real quick, because this is something new on this bike that I'd never dealt with before. So these pins right here that are holding this plastic piece in, they're actually just a push pin. So all you do is push it, and then once it goes in, you just pop it out. So that's a new one on me. I just wanted to show you because, yeah. So you don't, hopefully you don't struggle trying to figure out how to get it out like I did. Okay, so just so you know, so this is a 2023 anyway. So actually this is for the other side. So we'll walk around over here. So this actually, there's a bolt up there in this hole, and then there's one of those little snap pins down underneath under here, and then this just pops out. It's got little push pin things there on the back. So that's how those come off. I'm learning this along with you guys while I'm doing it. Then I'm going to take these bolts out here. Looks like that's pretty much all that's holding the rest of this on. So there's one on each side, and then that should let this pop off. And then take these bolts out back here, and I should be able to at least lift the tank up so I can start unhooking everything from underneath it. So that's where we're at right now. Okay, so now that I got that front cowling off, looks like the only other connectors we have is this bolt here going into the frame, and then there's one on this side obviously as well, and then these two back here. So I think those four just need to come out, and then I'll be able to lift it up. Once I lift up the tank and see what I got to do to disconnect everything, then I'll let you guys know. All right, so I got those bolts out, I got the rear bolts out. So what I did is I took a towel and I folded it up and put it in between the mount, and then I'm using it to prop up, kind of slid the tank forward as much as I could. It's because I wanted you guys to see what's inside here. So you have a clip for your fuel hose, and then you got the electronics for like your fuel pump and all that stuff. So I'm gonna get a towel and put it underneath that stuff, because I'm sure it's gonna drip a little bit when I disconnect that. And then I also gotta disconnect the electrical cable. Once I get that done, looks like I think that's just a vent hose, and then that probably just slides out. I'll let you know what happens with that. Got a couple of hoses coming down here. So let's see here. Yeah, that looks like it's connected to there. And so, yeah, I'll figure that out. I'll figure those two out. This is the ones I'm talking about up in there. I don't know if you can see them really well, but yeah, the gray and the black one, they're both coming out of the tank. And it looks like they're going down to this box. So I'll have to figure out what's going on with those, but I'll let you know what I end up figuring out with them. Okay, so quick update. Got the tank off. So that gray line that was underneath is just a vent line, and it runs down through here, and then it's clipped down through here. I had to cut a zip tie off because I just put the pipes on, and my new wire for my exhaust O2 sensor comes up along here, and I had it zip tied there just to kind of keep it out of the way. But so anyway, so it just snakes up there. This black one, I'm assuming it's some kind of a vent. I'm not really sure, but nothing came out when I opened it. This just squeezes and slides down, and then it popped onto the bottom of the tank. This just unplugged real quick from the electrical portion, and then this just has a clip, this gray clip. I just stuck a screwdriver in there and popped it out, and then it just slides off. And it did drip a little bit. I always put some shop towels under there, and it soaked it up really good. So anyway, so now we're down to our air box. So this is your ECU, and then this is the top piece. This is a sensor over here. I'm gonna have to figure out, I think there's something I have to do with that. But basically this whole top piece is gonna all come off and be replaced, and there's a new place to install the ECU on the new DNA. So I'll make another update here in a little bit and show you where everything's at and what's happened since the last time, and we'll go from there. All right. All right, so here's your ECU. It was just slid up in here, and then these had these two things that you just clips you lift up on and then push it down. And then took out all the screws all the way around. There's a bunch of them. And then this was on this little peg here and then clipped in to this clip right here. So I just unclipped it and then lifted it up off of there. And then now this should open it right up. And there's the inside of your stock air box, air filter, all that good stuff. And that's the box. We're going to pretty much be replacing this entire piece. So, yep, there we go. Well, that's pretty heavy too. One more big heavy piece of stuff out of it. Like I said, we saved like 15 pounds, I think, on the exhaust alone. So that's another big savings there. Plus, we're going to be getting a lot more air into the system. Got more air going out. Your motor's basically like a big air and fuel pump. So the more air you put in and out, and then adjust the fuel to match, is going to give you more horsepower. So now we'll start putting on the DNA kit, and I'll show you some steps on that, just so if you ever do this, you can knock it out yourself and save yourself a bunch of money instead of taking it to a dealership. All right, so as you can see, this is your DNA air filter kit, and it's basically the air filter is just taking the spot of where the air box used to be, and it almost kind of snaps down in there. You can kind of feel it when you get close to the edge, and then if you push down, it kind of snaps in. So I'll go around and do that as I go. And then it has these frame pieces that go on. So you got this one up here, and that's where you remount your seal up there. And then you get another one that goes down here like that. And then you have this piece here that mounts up like so. And then your ECU goes back up on top of here, and then you zip tie it down. So as you can see, going from this air box that was like pretty much completely enclosed, that's all the air really you're getting right there in that one little hole. So you're gonna go from that to pretty much whatever air comes up underneath your tank, it's gonna get it. So it's gonna be a lot higher airflow. And like I said, with that exhaust coming out and dumping a lot more air out, I'm going to be pumping a lot more air through this. That's why I got the BT-Moto ECU flasher. So that's the next thing to do after we get done putting this all together. So, all right, I'm gonna start putting in all those screws and get all that stuff done, and then mount the ECU back up there, and I'll probably touch base after that point. Okay, so got that all installed, got it all tightened up around. I used a gun to take them out, but when I put them back in, I put them in by hand because you're going into plastic, so you don't want to go too tight on those. So got that all in, got the zip ties put around your ECU, and seems all nice and secure. It's not really moving around. And then, of course, I got this sensor all clipped back in here and on this little holder to hold it in place. So we're all good there, and now I'm just going to start putting everything back together. All right, got it all put back together. Everything's looking good. So now I'm gonna, I gotta finish putting that back in. It's always something you find out when you're walking around. So yeah, I gotta put that. Actually, it's not that hard. I just have to snap it behind these little clasps. And then I gotta put a zip tie back around there for my O2 sensor. And then I gotta do, I think I still have to do a download for my BT-Moto onto my computer. And then I'll go from there. So zip tie, and then I'll start doing the download.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel and keeps you updated on all our latest content. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our new uploads. We've got a lot more exciting content coming your way that you definitely won't want to miss. Also, if you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. We love hearing from you, and we'll do our best to respond to everyone. Finally, be sure to follow us on our social media channels for more behind-the-scenes content and updates. You can find all the links in the description below. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.